Welcome to the Flex Forward Podcast, where grit meets growth. With your host, Nic Espanet, bringing you stories of resilience, reinvention, and the real climb to success.
Welcome, everyone, to the Flex Forward Podcast, where we chat about professional, personal, and financial successes. Today's guest is Chris Soignier. Chris and I have known each other probably close to a decade, maybe 8 to 10 years. Done some investing together, but also just, Chris is a great sounding board when I have ideas about things. So I've really enjoyed getting to know him. And we're going to have Chris is very involved as a realtor in crypto. He's also an investor in different areas and a success coach. Chris, can you give us a little more info about what you are doing, what things you got going on in business right now?
Yes. First of all, Nic, thanks for having me on. Pleasure talking to you as always. And so, really, my business is composed of, like you said, I'm an associate broker at the XP Realty. I lead one of the 30 largest teams, revenue organizations in the company. And beyond that, I involved a lot in investing in different things. Up till probably 3 or 4 years ago, almost 100% of my portfolio was in multifamily syndications. And so I've been very big in real estate investing over the years. Since then, I've diversified a good bit, as I probably should have sooner. So I'm now also investing in oil and gas syndications, um, private equity syndications, like pre-IPO companies, and what else? Real estate lending funds. As you mentioned, not crypto, Bitcoin. I used to invest in crypto. Now I'm a Bitcoin maximalist.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's interesting to.
Yeah, I'm kind of you know, just also just trying to get more involved in fitness and making sure I have a very good work-life balance. So got most of my income on residual mode now. So
Nice. And I
enjoying
think
life.
that's awesome, getting that passive income. I'm going to pause for a second, Chris. Am I blurry to you?
You are.
Okay,
We're looking pretty good earlier, but
yeah, I don't know what. That's
I
why I
think
tried
it
to.
looks like you maybe if you try if you can zoom out a little bit.
Well, this is a tricky part. This is a new camera, so I have to find ProLogic. Let me find apps. Gee. It's a good thing about editing. We'll get this.
Yeah, I got this new iMac recently, a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Camera, this thing's unbelievable. Not only the clarity, but it will actually follow me around.
That's pretty cool. Oh, it's on your iMac. That's cool.
It's built into it, yeah.
Okay, so I know there's open. Let's see if I can launch G-Hub. Yeah, because I got on early and made sure it was clear, and then you were talking. I'm like, ooh, I'm all messed up. Launch. Oh, there it comes. Okay. So this is a Logitech little camera. I like that yours follows. I don't want to rename it. Oh, here we go.
There it is.
Huh. Okay. Well, let's leave it.
Not sure what you clicked, but it made a big difference.
Yep. All right. So we'll just go back to thank you. Sorry about the pause there. So Chris, as you're looking at some of the different areas you're in, there's lots of competition in those spaces, sometimes for the investing or finding people that are right. What sets you apart, maybe in the real estate world or coaching, or I know you've helped me. I've had questions about some of the Bitcoin things, and what What are you doing to help kind of set yourself apart or to grow in those areas?
Well, as far as you mentioned, like coaching, and I guess that would be around helping my agents and attracting new agents. I think the first thing is just that I care, really like helping people. And it's really about relationships. I'm not for everyone, everyone's not for me, but when I find people that I feel like I have the capacity to help grow in their career and help them do more production and solve problems that might be in their life, you know, hopefully if there's a mutual fit, I can help them out and that results in growth for both of us.
That's awesome. I think the caring is important, just talking with people, hearing their concerns and seeing where you can help them out, not just looking to get something for yourself, but being able to, give something back and that being your main goal, really. Is
Yeah,
that
one thing I put a little bit different hat or look through a little different lens than most agents. I don't think of myself really just as a real estate agent as much as a real estate entrepreneur and everything. So what I really try to help people if they needed and open to it are not just about the typical real estate challenges most people face, and there's plenty of them in this market, but also look at a more holistic approach, how we can help their lives through provide a lot more expertise on the finance side. You know, how can I help them minimize their taxes using appropriate business structures? Um, Take those excess profits and invest them wisely so they can grow their nest egg and create a better future for themselves.
that's great. That's awesome. Because a lot of people, high income earners, may not get that. They're just got their nose to the grindstone trying to, you know, make more money, but realizing they can maximize their income with different investments to help save on the tax side
Yes,
is
I came
awesome.
from a finance background, so
Oh, okay.
I'm still a finance geek. But I
Yeah,
love
that
it. So anything I can do to help people in those areas.
awesome. Are you listening to any other podcasts or books, classes? If somebody's listening and they want to grow in some of those areas, is there anything you're listening to or like to tune into that you would recommend that they could uh, tune into?
Well, I am a like I mentioned, I'm Bitcoin maxing now, and that's my hobby as well, I would say. So I listen to a lot of Bitcoin podcasts, Bitcoin Standard. See, Simply Bitcoin is one. Let's see who else I listen to. Bitcoin stories. There's just a lot of Bitcoin podcasts out there that are good,
Awesome.
but Anthony Pompliano is a good one.
Awesome. Yeah, those are, and you've turned me on to a couple of those too that I've listened to. So I'm just trying to expand what I'm doing. So through your career, what is one of the biggest challenges you've had to overcome, and how did you go about that? Or even your early career, or kind of your moved out of finance more as an investor. What's or even it could be a personal or health challenge too that maybe you've overcome.
Well, I think the biggest challenge was just shifting from being a W-2 employee to um, a business owner. And that happened right around March 2015.
Okay.
And so it so happened that I finished reading the Cash Flow Quadrant pretty much the same day I lost my job.
Oh, well, I mean, good timing. Things happen for you, not to you. That's all. I think a lot. Robert Kiyosaki helped nudge a lot of people, either through Cash Flow Quadrant or a Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yes, that was really, it really flipped the whole way I reacted to the situation on its head. Had it happened in my past, it would have been a bad thing, but now it was a good thing because it just gave me a nudge to do what I really knew I needed to do, and I won't sugarcoat it. It was not easy. It was 2 years of austerity and having to make some tough decisions.
What? And I had something similar. I got fired. I've been fired once from one, doing as a physical therapist, and it ended up being the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Yeah, when it happened, I'm like, oh no, what? I had a wife and 3 kids. Yeah, we already had number three. And so it's just like, oh no, what are we going to do? But then I just like, hey, this is an opportunity. It's a door opening somewhere. And it moved me from being a W-2 salaried position where I had to pretty much answer to somebody from 8 to 5 to, it got me started doing um, uh, contract parts with different companies. So I had the freedom to kind of ramp down my therapy. Yes, I was ramping up my real estate world, and without having make that being fired, I don't think I probably still would have gotten there, but it helped nudge me along faster.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. Because what they say is, the biggest impediment to a great life is a good life.
Kind
And
of the golden handcuffs.
I was
Yeah,
very comfortable. I had a six-figure salary.
very
Good
same.
benefits and all this. And it was before this eye opener of reading this book came along. I was just you know thought I had it all.
For sure. And that's, Robert Kiyosaki, I think I would say probably 85-90% of the entrepreneurs, investor type mindset, is his books that got them rethink. Cause I'd grown up with that middle class mindset, W-2, just work hard, stay in that position and keep grinding. And then seeing just how you can make money work for you is such an eye opener.
Yeah, I'm not sure how life would have turned out had I not read that book. So
No, for sure.
that's usually number one on my recommended reading list is the Cash Flow Quadrant. Which is following the Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is also a good book.
Yep. No, I just definitely get those books if you haven't read them. And it's one of those things I've stopped doing this, but for a while I was giving for graduation gifts for a high school graduation. I would give the a Rich Dad Poor Dad book and say, you don't have to read it right now, but put it on your shelf. And when you feel like you're ready, highly recommend you read it. So I haven't had anybody reach back out, but that's just such a life-changing book for so many people.
Absolutely. I remember before I read it, I was in some forum and everything. Kind of, I had my traditional finance hat on. Somebody posted something about your house is not an asset. So I remember, some silly argument with them about the house is an asset.
Yeah, no,
And then
yeah,
read
it's
it
just
and everything.
how it
So
changes, shifts, and looking at that quadrant to where different things go, and thinking of it. I think he has another one that assets on one part, liabilities on another, and how a house is more on the liability side is, um, such a eye opener, shift of mindset. Um,
absolutely.
so as we're wrapping up our interview, or you have any exciting plans or initiatives that you're looking at in the next 6 to 12 months, either personally or business wise? What do you got on the horizon?
Business wise, I got something excited. Unfortunately, I'm under NDA, so I can't really talk about it. But
Okay. Well, I
I
look
think it is
forward.
going to fire up a lot of growth.
Awesome.
Um, summers, my wife works in the school system. She's a teaching assistant, and I have a teenage son who's in between sophomore and junior year. So we like to take a lot of time with family over the summer. So
Awesome. You got any big travel plans?
yeah, we're about to go on out to Asheville and Knoxville, out in the Smoky Mountains,
Oh, nice.
and we got a an event out there that's kind of a combination of business and legacy planning in Asheville, and then we're going to spend the time over in Knoxville in the Smoky Mountains, um, more vacationing type stuff as well too. So
Awesome.
we're gonna go
No,
out there and hopefully squeeze in another vacation or two over the summer.
awesome. Yeah, we've driven through that
But
Tennessee kind of in a hurry. My wife spent more time there, but I've never parked very long and hung out. It's kind
yeah,
of on my checklist.
usually we typically go out west and everything, but we got invited to this great event with actually a sponsor of my real estate lending fund, and so we're gonna go check that out. And looking forward to seeing a different part of the country than we usually go to. Asheville's
Awesome.
been on my bucket list for a long time, so
Yeah, I'm
can't
not familiar with Asheville.
well,
That's Tennessee or North
no,
Carolina.
Asheville's North Carolina.
Okay.
I remember they're the ones that got hit really bad during the floods.
Oh, from the hurricane? Or
Yes,
okay.
it's quite a bit inland, but I guess the storm just like was coming inland and just like paused over there and just kept on dumping.
Well, I can't wait to hear about it once you guys are back. Well,
Yeah,
Chris, I appreciate you spending time with me today and sharing some of your insights and tips with us. If people wanted to connect with you, how should you have a email, social media, or any way if somebody wanted to get in touch with you that they could do so?
Yeah, I'm on all the social media platforms. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, probably the primary three. And it's Chris. My last name is spelled Soignier.
Awesome. All right, Chris. Well, we appreciate your time.
Thanks for listening to the Flex Forward podcast. If you've got grit, growth, and a great story, visit flexforwardpodcast.com/guest to apply and join us on the show.